disable this. It's a default setting for it to be enabled, and when you spin around to turn it on somebody, it makes everything all dizzy, like you're at the club, mollied out, sweating, and it's getting all dizzy, and you're Oonga Boonga SpongeBob memeing. You know what I mean? You want to disable this? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Flagrant. Today I have a best settings for Black Ops Cold War, man. Today is release day, so you already know I had to come and show you guys what's up, man. I'm gonna be uploading a lot of tip videos, trick videos, guides, all that type of stuff here on the channel. So do me a favor, click that like button, subscribe so you don't miss out on any of that content, man. We're gonna be covering everything here as far as Black Ops Cold War. I want to make this video short, get straight to the point, all the facts, no BS. So let's jump into the best settings for Black Ops Cold War. All right, guys, in Black Ops Cold War, they added a bunch of new settings that are different from the alpha and the beta. So let's jump into it. I'm going to go through all of the settings here that you guys need. First things first, let's talk about stick sensitivity. I personally like a 6.6 sensitivity. I feel like that's just right for me. That one is personal preference for you guys. I do advise you to try, you know, somewhere between 5.5 and 7.7 and test it out and then determine whether or not you need to raise your sensitivity or not to make it faster to turn around or slow it down. But this is a huge setting right here. ADS stick sensitivity. I made this 0.75. If you guys scroll through left and right, it only goes up by 0.1, right? But if you hit square on your PS4 or X on your Xbox controller, you can actually change it exactly how you want it. I like a 0.75 on my low zoom, which are things like my iron sights, my red dot sights, and then on my high zoom, like my sniper scopes and all that, I like it to be 0.75. This means when I ADS, it kind of slows down while I ADS, gives me more control for winning my gunfights. Whereas like right now I move really fast, and when I ADS, it slows it down a little bit for me. Moving on, I personally disable controller vibration. I feel like that helps me win my gunfight. For ADS aim assist, you want this enabled. Console players get a huge advantage by having aim assist, man. When you are aiming on an enemy, it's going to slow down and kind of like lock in on them, make it really hard for you to miss your shot. So you want to enable this. The next new setting is armor behavior right here. You guys want to put this on apply one. Now this is going to be when you are in game modes where you put armor on, like in Warzone. And when you go to put your armor in, you want to be able to put one at a time. And if you keep putting your armor plates, you can do it that way. The problem if you have it on apply all is as soon as you hit that armor thing, if you need to sit there and take time to put 1 plate, 2 plate, 3 plate, you're going to die if somebody goes to push you. But if you have it on one, you can kind of cancel the process a little faster, get back into the fight if you need to. So that's very important. This setting here, stick minimum threshold. This is a setting that is like in Modern Warfare. It's your dead zone. I play on 10, 99, 10, 99. Now what these are, where it says 10 on the default setting, this means the amount of movement that is required before your controller starts reacting in game. I like 10 because that eliminates any type of stick drift or anything that I have. If you have high stick drift while the sticks are just kind of like right in place and you're not really moving them, raise this setting. I think 10 is a perfect balance, especially in gunfights and stuff. Having it on 10 means like the little jiggles of my thumb or whatever aren't going to throw off my gunfight, but my more intentional movements are going to pick up. So that's what I would change for that. Auto move forward and auto sprint, although those are kind of cool features, I disable them. I like it old school where I, you know, hold down my sprint and keep it forward in that sprint, or when I move the stick forward. I don't like it to auto move forward or auto sprint. It throws me off in gunfights. I would say disable those. For sprint behavior, you want toggle. Some people are putting it on hold right now, and that means you have to literally keep the stick button pressed down the entire time. Whereas if you have it on toggle, all you do is click it down and just keep the stick moving forward to sprint, and you're not jamming down that button and breaking your controllers anymore like in Warzone. Sprint cancels reload. Go ahead and disable this. You want it where you can reload while sprinting. If not, there's going to be so many situations where you go to reload and you start your sprint and you cancel your reload. You're going to think it's reloaded. You're going to aim up and you're going to not have ammo in your gunfight. So change that. For interact/reload behavior, you want to put this on tap to reload. In my opinion, tap to reload or tap to interact. It's just like contextual tap in Modern Warfare. So let's go ahead and put that on. In graphics, here are some huge, absolutely huge settings you guys need to focus on. First things first, let's talk about the FOV. This is something that everybody is here for, I'm sure. Field of view. Right now, I play on 100. I feel like this is the best setting for a console player. PC players will play on 120, but let's show you. The default setting is 80. You see how the background is zoomed in a lot right there? Now let's go back here and let's bump that up. See how it's kind of zooming the picture out? Now I see a lot more of my surroundings. It's like if I took a step back and I'm able to see a lot more. This helps with being able to see your enemies and not having those situations where you run past an enemy and they were just out of your vision and you don't know how you couldn't have seen them. Now you're going to be able to see them. You see a whole lot more in front of you here, and that's very, very important. I feel personally 120 is too high for console. It starts messing with your aim, your hip fire is kind of tough or whatever. Whereas on PC, when you're just, you know, moving your mouse around, you want it on 120 because you're pretty much hip firing up close anyways and just using your mouse to point. ADS field of view, you want this on affected. If you have it on independent, it's going to look like you have more recoil. If you put it on affected, it's going to look like you have less recoil. So that is a huge, huge difference. Also, motion blur, disable this. It's a default setting for it to be enabled, and when you spin around to turn on somebody, it makes everything all dizzy, like you're at the club, mollied out, sweating, and it's getting all dizzy, and you're Oonga Boonga SpongeBob memeing. You know what I mean? You want to disable this. You don't want your gun to be blurry. You don't want your background to get blurry. You want to be able to win these gunfights. So that's huge. The next huge setting is colorblind modes. Now, you might be saying, hey, Flagrant, I'm not colorblind. But let me tell you why this is important. In this setting, I keep it disabled. I'm not personally colorblind, but there are additional settings that allow you to change what things look like in your mini map. Now, as you can tell, I changed my enemy color towards this pink one. It makes it where my enemies on the mini map are super bright and super attention grabbing. I know exactly where they're at. The orange colors seem to be too dull in this game. It's not like a bright red like in other Call of Duties. So I use that very, very hot pink color to signify where my enemies are. And then I changed my party and ally colors to be blue and teal, so I know who's in my squad and who are just my general teammates. And then I use the orange one for me. I know where I'm at and I know where my enemies are, and all of these different colors have different contrasts, so it's really easy to read and see with my peripheral vision while I am gaming. For audio settings, I keep master volume on 100. I turn music down to 0. I don't want to hear the music in game. I don't want to hear the music in lobby, especially when I'm in game. I want to be focusing on hearing the footsteps, the gunshots, the movement around me, and not hearing all the little extra music noises in the background. That's huge for me. Also, dialogue volume, I lower it down to 70 when announcers are talking, or it's like get to the objective and all that. I want that to be less prioritized. I want to hear sound effects and footsteps and gunshots as much as possible. Also, on audio presets, you need to change this from Treyarch mix to high boost. Footsteps in this game are not as bassy or low pitched. They're a little more high pitched than normal. So the high boost increases your hearing of the footsteps in your headset. In the interface settings, you're able to change all of the things that pop up on screen, whether or not you see your crosshairs, your hit markers, health bars, enemy names, all that type of stuff. You can change that to your personal preference. Not too much there. There's also a setting for friend request notifications and party invite notifications to be enabled or disabled. In Warzone, a lot of the time people will try to spam me with invites, and if I go to reload and hit that X button, sometimes it'll accidentally open up one of those notifications and take me out of my game, and I get really pissed. So you can disable these, so that way it does not pop up when you are in game. Also, this code name setting is mostly for streamers out there. If you want your name to be hidden and given a random name when you're in game, so people can't try to stream snipe you and get the clout of I killed Flagrant in game, you can enable codename, and it basically scrambles your name in every game and makes it look like you're not who you are. Also, there's a setting to add the codename to all of the other players in your lobby, so really all the names in the lobby look like different names than what they actually are. That's just if you want to, mostly for streamers. And that's pretty much it, man. And there you have it. That is all of the best settings for Black Ops Cold War right now, at this moment, at the launch of game. If you change these settings to match, I guarantee it's going to improve your experience with this game. It's going to improve your ability to see more players, hit more shots, be more cognizant of what's going on in your mini map. It's going to allow you to hear better footsteps. All of that combined is going to raise your game. So Thank you so much for watching, man. Make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitch at @flagrant_. And I will catch you guys in the next video, man. Better subscribe, bro.